in today's video I'm talking about, I think that's like the best tool that like ever existed, like the perfect bond between an architect and between a client. What's the perfect house? What's the ideal house? How should it look? What material? What style? What feelings I want? But it won't work because you just talk and talk and talk, and everybody wants to do, let's be honest, like we want to do ads. And the solution here, I think, I know you will be amazed here. I know you say that's a tool and that's like a joke. Or maybe it's not, but consider the idea, and just give me like 5 more seconds to just consider the idea, because I know it will sound stupid. Like it will sound the most stupid thing that I said. What should you use for the perfect bond? And it's Pinterest. Just listen for a second, because if you tell your client like, hey, I want to make you your best house, or if you're like the client, you can ask your architect like saying, look, I have like here 300 photos. They will look at the pictures. Or if you're an architect, you convince your client that, hey, make me like a portfolio of like 200, 300, 500, or even 1,000 pictures that you like. It doesn't even have to be like architecture. It should be like everything, you know, like home decor design. The perfect example, because that man or woman that's designing your house, it will know more about you in 5 minutes that you can't even imagine. And if you do that and you put your wife or your spouse or your husband to do that as well, you know, and you go to the architect and he says, oh, like the man likes that, the woman likes that. Maybe they even ask the kids, you know, they have 3,000 images and they will be able to see a pattern, you know, like, oh, look, the woman likes the wood with the metal, the man likes the metal with the, I don't know what, and they will make the combination. I'm not getting into it, but you see the logic. And the good part within it is that basically everybody gets the best out of the best extremely fast. Because if you think about it, you just like liking pictures. I'm not talking to the architects now, I'm talking to the client or like the person who is building. Because if you just go to Pinterest, you make a profile, it's for you. Like, I'm not paid by them, but I really consider that's like the best idea here, you know. Like, you make a profile, maybe it's like 5 minutes, and you start to like pictures in architecture, like gardens and everything. And maybe it's like an hour. I just said something, or like 2 hours, and it doesn't have to be like in a rush. Maybe you do like 5 minutes now, 5 minutes then, and when you're ready, you just send the link with your, I don't know how they say it, album or like collection. I don't know, because I don't really use that much Pinterest, because lately I'm more than of a YouTuber wannabe than an architect. However, you do that, you know. And the person will look at it, and they will know exactly what you want. And if you do that like with the other members of the family, like everybody will be happy what that guy or woman will draw to you. And they as well, because look, it won't be like, oh yeah, we kinda like it, and yeah, it kinda looks like the 1 or 3, 4 pictures that we show. No, that person will have his personal touch. It won't be like, oh, they gave me a house and they want exactly that. It won't be so. It won't be a, how do you say it? It won't kill the architect's ego or like the creative ego, like, oh, I want to do like this and that, but they will get the main idea, why you like that building, why you like that feeling. They will get it you more, see? So I try to explain in another way. So basically, when you go to an architect or like any artist, they want to put their creativity in a thing. And if you give them like 2, 3 things, then he has 2, 3 things that he has to work with, and they have to work with their creativity, with their style, with their something. And I don't think it's a mismatch, but it's harder for them. However, if you show them like in a billion examples, because they say like images tell 1,000 words, and you show them by 1,000 images, and I'm not exaggerating here, like if you watch every picture like 1 second, that means like you watch that person's like life in 1,000 seconds, and you'll know them, you know. Let's say somebody is watching action movies and the other is watching Gone with the Wind. Is the same person? Are you talking the same with them? No. And it's the same with the houses, you know. And if you do that, the first result will be almost perfect. It will be like probably a divine thing, because the architect will know what you like, and they will get the main idea, the thing behind it, or like what feeling you like it. They will get exactly the feeling that you like in it, you know. Maybe you are um, let me put it in another way, because I'm not really good with the explaining here, maybe because I didn't explain it till now. Maybe you like the 14th century castles because like the walls are thick and it gives you a security. However, if somebody designs you a totally new home, but it looks secure, it has like great walls, like thick walls, or at least they look thick, that means maybe you like that even more, see? Because it's modern and it gives you like the security, you know? Maybe the other person wants something with a lot of glass. And you say, oh, that person wants a lot of glass and probably that costs a lot of money. And I will talk about that, how to use not glass but acrylic sheets instead of it. That's another episode. I won't talk about that. However, maybe the person who's your architect, or if you're an architect, you'll figure it out. Basically, that person doesn't want necessarily like a lot of glass. They just want to see their pool from their I don't know what, but they don't even know it. But you'll see a pattern, because with 3-4 pictures you won't see a thing, but in 1,000 pictures they can't hide a pattern, you know. It will be like obvious. And even they won't notice it, because they will say, oh, I didn't notice that you noticed that something. You see the idea? It's a pattern, and they will see the pattern almost immediately, especially if they do that like with a few clients. They will see. And I don't want to be like, oh, my colleagues are good or bad or everything, but I can tell you, if somebody who's like not the wisest or not the smartest or like not the sharpest person on earth, but they really listen to their clients, they really listen, the end result for the client and for the family, or for you or for me, it will be maybe 1,000 times better than somebody who's like really a big master of architecture. And I'm not telling it in like a funny way or like making fun of them, you know, but I'm telling like a really neutral way, like that who listens more wins. See, the persons who listens more wins, because if you think about it, the only person who has to like that house, usually, not every time, but usually, it's the client itself, the person who is living in the house. Or that's another thing, when there's a person who builds the house for selling it, like business wise, that's another thing. But when we are talking about family houses, when somebody wants to move there and they want to live there like 10, 20, 30 years, then I can tell you, even like I don't want to say like a bad architect. I want to say like somebody who's a novice, or somebody who's like not the best with every part of the thing, like not best with the ratios, he's not best with things, but he listens, and if he sees the patterns or she sees the pattern, the end result for you, like the persons who living in the house, will be like a 10 times better. And near that, I will highly advise you, like everybody, ask your architect. If he's not doing that, ask them that they make you a 3D rendering and they let you walk in the house. Basically, like they put it in a game engine. You know, like I'm not really good with the playing stuff, because if I go in the game, they will kill me in like a 10 seconds, they shoot me. Or if I'm not being shoot or something, they will say, oh, your time is over, you have to go out now or something. But even so, there are programs. I don't say like what you should recommend to your architect because probably they know, but ask them nicely that they make you like a 3 day something, and after the first version just let you like walk in the house and just let you walk in it for a few days, you know. They give you like on a computer, so basically they give you like the software, you, it's like a game, you know, like basically the big game engines or like the architecture engines can render you like a 3D, and they send you install some small program and you'll be able to walk in it, and the more realistic it is, the better it will be. So I highly recommend you to don't rush the things, just walk in it for a few days. And imagine like things like, oh, now I'm coming from the concert, I was in the theater, where I will put down my keys, where I can see my neighbors, and pay the architect extra. Like imagine, like truthfully, like I'm like begging for you, like please pay the architect extra money because you will love it, to draw the neighbor's house there with the windows. Because if you see where exactly is like the neighbor, you will see exactly where it's like the street. And even like potentially, if you can, like talk with an architect and pay them extra, pay them really really well, because that's extra work, you know. And usually they don't do it because nobody asks them, because it's like crazy. So basically ask them to draw like the neighborhood a bit, not like a lot, not like they are killing themselves, but just like a 20-minute extra work or like a 30-minute extra work. So you see from your house your neighbors and your neighbors' windows, you know, and you will start to walk in the garden and you say, oh, so basically when I will make the barbecue here, the Johnny will see me from there, however the other won't see what's happening. And you will be able to put there a bush or like to plant something, and you will be able to negotiate your own house and your own terms of privacy, you know. And you see basically the shades, you will see in the morning, you will see the shade in the afternoon, you will see in the winter, in the summer. And you really need to do that, like basically walk in the house for days, go in the basement, get out of the basement, you know, like put there a car, try to walk near the car to see how much space you have. Like seriously, I highly advise you to do that. However, you start with the Pinterest, and that's it. Subscribe.